on to your butts.
My American.
I've been tracking Sasquatches for 25 years.
My American.
Global awakening to the New World Order.
My American.
Artificial intelligence, non-droid.
My American.
Do you believe in UFOs?
Yes, sir. Extraterrestrial.
You're listening to Pardon My American.
Welcome to Pardon My American. Greg.
Hello.
Chris. Whoa.
Yeah, I see Dave's arm. Uh-oh.
Oh,
Somebody
yeah,
messed with the cameras, dang it.
Look at that. Oh, look at that. I'm going to be Chris's head right here.
Yeah.
How the
Oh, boy. A peek behind the curtain of our production.
Oh, yeah, dude. Well, no one really ever gets to see, actually, behind Chris's little area. You know what I mean? Where you're standing, it blocks your helmets and stuff, you know?
What do you mean?
Well, sometimes when you're standing there, you can't see all the cool stuff you have on your shelf. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't.
Yeah, but you get to see the cool computer screen. You know he's doing shit, you know?
Oh, yeah, dude. True that.
Whatever.
Happy Wednesday, folks. Happy Wednesday.
It is Wednesday.
Middle of the week. The hump day. Remember we used to say happy hump day.
Happy hump day.
It's over the hill now.
Over the hill. To Epstein's list we go.
Oh, gosh. That's true.
Ugh.
That's true. Cold one.
So are you guys excited? So let me let's dive right into this Epstein list.
Yeah.
Are you guys excited to hear about what's going to happen here?
Of course. I mean, I'm excited. I don't know what the extent will be, you know, but
Right.
I'm excited. Now, I caught a little bit of you guys texting earlier. I was at work, you know, and I saw something, and then you were like, we'll see, you know, and I'm with that.
Yeah, I said I'll see it I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's how many promises have we been like propped up and just like,
Well,
never happened.
That's true. I will say the one difference is obviously watching her speaking and stuff and kind of saying that tomorrow we're going to see some information. I like that. I mean, if you're saying tomorrow, then I'm guessing
Putting a time frame on it.
Something's going to happen. It's not even like a month from now. It's like tomorrow. But the question I had for Chris, or it wasn't a question, the statement I made to Chris was, what is it going to be, though? Is it going to be something we already know? You know, I kind of want to hear something new, something refreshing. Like, we have video of Hillary with a dildo on banging her husband. I want to see something. You know what I mean? I want to see something like extraordinary.
I don't really want to see that.
I want all the freak to come out. You know what I'm saying? I kind of want to see it.
They're not going to release. They're not going to release anything that is going to jeopardize or out any victims for sure.
Oh, not
right,
victims,
especially minors.
No, she said what'd she say? She said flight logs, names, those kind of things are coming out. But here's the good thing: how many of the lists have we seen, Greg? You know, where it's you don't know that they're made up, and people are like, "Yeah, Tom Hanks is on there, 20s." You know, it's like
That's true.
We don't know that they're real.
If there is a list of an actual like flight list or a list of people that have visited the island, it's going to be these are the actual people that went, not just something that somebody posted online. Yeah,
because that was my issue, man. I feel like a lot of the stuff that you saw on like Reddit and all this other bullshit. It's like, you don't have any evidence that any of these people, you know what I mean? Like, remember it was like Tracy Morgan. I mean, maybe not.
Yeah.
I mean, were they on there? Were they not? But if they're saying it, I'm gonna trust that they got the information that we could actually at least use it to say that person really was on there. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I think we had Pam Bondi on the Jesse Waters show, right? Or Waters World.
Yeah.
And we have a clip of that.
I saved the clip. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I still can't do. She's we were talking about it last show, man.
You were saying like she's what, 59, almost 60?
She's good. She's good looking, bro. She's 59. She looks good for 59, dude.
Yeah.
Like I'm sick.
What do you think she does? What's like her routine? You know?
She lives in Florida.
She must work out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. She must work out.
She must work out.
It's the humidity.
I don't, it's weird because like I think as we get older and you start seeing people that are older, you're like, damn, that you would have not seen this.
But you know what?
40 years ago, this is not like a 6-year-old would not look like that. Okay?
Is it that would not look like that, or is our perspective changing the way we're older? Like if we were still 15 years old, would she look old as shit to us?
Nah, because I work with young kids and they think that some of these people are like super hot, and we wouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. A 6-year-old back in the, and the thing was, I'm not sidetracking, I swear to God, but they were saying that hairstyles is what's making this happen because the old hairstyles were so aging. But I'm just going to be honest with
and
you.
makeup.
Look at her face.
Well, like the mom bob, the short hair.
Yeah. The beehive.
Never do that,
That
ladies.
beehive shit, like all that. But here's the thing I'll say. If you just look at her face, she does not even look 60. You know what I'm saying? Like, even...
Well, pull up the video. Let's look at her face.
Here.
Oh, yeah, you can't see it. I'm seeing it right now.
You said last week that you...
Hold on.
Oh, whoa. Yeah, I mean, she looks young, but this is like, you gotta... she's dressed up for TV, bro. Like, she's got a lot of makeup on, and
totally get it.
Right?
I'm with you 100%. I'm still sticking on it. If we were 20 and you remember what you think of a 60-year-old, wrinkles, wrinkled lips, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she looks like a MILF, dude.
She looks like she's 48, 45. You know what I'm saying? Like that's and a good 45. Like not like a beat up 45.
No, like she's ready to take you. 45.
Oh,
yeah, man.
Okay.
Okay, let's play this. We're getting crazy here.
You have the Epstein files on your desk. When can we see them, and what's taking so long to release them?
I do. Jesse, there are well over, this will make you sick, 200 victims. 200. So we have, well over 250 actually. So we have to make sure that their identity is protected and their personal information. But other than that, I think tomorrow, the personal information of victims. Other than that, I think tomorrow, Jesse, breaking news right now, you're going to see some Epstein information being released by my office.
What kind? Are we going to see who was on the flights? Are we going to see any evidence from what he recorded? Because he had all of his homes wired with recording devices.
Yeah. What you're going to see, hopefully tomorrow, is a lot of flight logs, a lot of names, a lot of information. But it's pretty sick what that man did.
Okay. Well, we'll
along
look for
with his
that.
co-defendant.
Absolutely. And he had help. That's for
He
sure.
sure did.
He sure did. So what I don't get is, like, it's taken years to redact these names of the 200 people. I mean, come on, you can do that in less than 8 hours.
I don't think it's taken years. I think the previous people that were in charge of holding on to it were never planned on releasing it ever.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it's taken years to go through it. I think has been purposely withheld.
So why didn't Trump release it in his first term? Like when Epstein was like killed in prison, you know what I mean?
Well, listen, that's a good question. But
timing is everything, my friend.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Political bait, bro.
I don't know if
that's what
listen,
I'm not going to say political bait. I think if it was thrown out then, I don't think people would have soaked it up the same as they would now.
Oh, yes, they would have.
I feel like it would have been more because it was more. Yeah, because I think it was
way more.
It was the news then. It's not the news now. People were ready for it, man. Come on, everybody was talking about it.
I don't think people were ready for it.
Why not?
Okay.
Just names?
What do you mean?
They were. I mean, here's
it's
the thing.
not just names, dude.
I know. Listen, they were releasing fake names. I'm going to say they're fake. They were releasing fake logs, and people wanted to, and they were exploring those left and right. You know what I mean? Like if they actually released the real logs, like, come on, man. I think they would have absolutely been ready for it.
And it would have been squashed, and everything nobody would have seen it because every social media site on planet Earth would have squashed it away, and everyone that even talked about it would have went to fucking jail.
I know, but here's the thing.
I mean, Bongino would have talked about it. Charlie Kirk would have talked about it, maybe.
Candace Owens would have talked about it. Like
Crowder, right? He would have talked about it. Like these alternate,
Tim Pool.
alternate shows.
Yeah, the alternate shows. But I mean, like, that's not the majority of the population.
Tucker would have talked about it for sure. So it's like the people would have talked about it, dude. Like this was a big deal when it happened. People really wanted to see Bill Clinton go down. I mean, that was the prime example that like they wanted to go like Hillary go to jail because of this whole Epstein shit.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't the reason behind her going to jail. Her going to jail was the spying and the emails.
For sure. This is Hillary is included, but I'm just saying like
I think it's in the middle.
They used like the Epstein stuff to go after quote conspiracies.
Yeah.
Right. They used that to clamp down, just like you were saying, and they use this and they use like everything else, like the COVID. They use the Biden laptop, right? They use all of this stuff in 2020 to literally just say like, whoa, we got all these conspiracies going around that all these celebrities are like satanic, and the whole QAnon stuff. Like, literally, Epstein and the QAnon stuff was the buildup. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
it's like it gave them the foundation to ban a lot of people off of YouTube, ban them off of social media, like you were saying. So I think that they used it as a political tool, dude. And I don't know why Trump wouldn't have released it to be like, look, they're not fraud. Like, these guys aren't talking conspiracy. This is true. So here you go. Here's the list.
I mean, it's a reasonable question. I think it honestly lies in the middle of what you both are saying. I think it was when I brought him up multiple times now. Weinstein, when he was on Joe Rogan, right? He made the statement that, like, had Trump won in 2020, right, he would not have been able to do the things he's doing right now. Just the momentum that he's getting now would have not been achievable at the time, just with everything that was going on. Whether you believe that or not, I would argue that, like, maybe he just wasn't in a position and didn't have the right people. And I mean, look at the people that he actually has behind him right now. Look at his cabinet meeting that he just had. It's a pretty good group of people. I know you could argue that who's bad and who's good and all that crap. I'm just saying this is some really well-known names. Kash Patel, Bongino going in, you know, doing like some big names, some people that really want to release information seemingly, right? Maybe that wasn't the case in 2016, 2017. I don't know. We know that he had some bad people in his party at the time. So I don't know, man.
I don't know. It seems like it's like just because you have bad people in your party, you can't take. I mean, he's a boss, dude. Like, grab it by the balls and be like, no, fuck that. But see, here you go.
I don't listen. I actually disagree with that. We've talked. How much power does a president really actually have? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you have a bunch of people who are trying to buck the system underneath of him, which they were, we saw that in 2016, 17. Even the military guys were lying to Trump about who was where and how many people were there.
Well, one military guy was, yeah.
Sure, but my point is how many people lied as in general? Like, how many people didn't want him to, they thought he was going to be radicalized or whatever the situation. Like, is it possible? Like, I think it's possible that, like, he didn't have the support around him and real Republicans around him that wanted to get shit done.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible that he has that right now, too. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know who benefits from keeping the Epstein stuff secret. That's what I want to know.
The people that are on this log, I think, is the one that benefit.
Not only that, but the people who were paying for this log, right? Because I want to know who paid Epstein, who is he working for, and where is the information now, and like who all knows this, like foreign countries, right? Dan Bongino was on Timcast. There's a clip of him going viral where he's saying there was a country in the Middle East that Epstein was working for. He didn't know which country that was, but I'm just saying, like,
well, he didn't say he
what are we
didn't.
doing?
He didn't say he didn't know what country it was. He said he wasn't going to say what country it was.
No, he said he didn't know.
Oh, I thought the clip I saw said he wasn't going to say. He wasn't going to say, like, I don't know where. I mean, I could be wrong.
It could be many. Right? I think, are you leaning towards Israel? Is that what you're going to say?
Well, if he said Middle East, then yeah. But I mean, Prince Andrew was also heavily, like, he was royalty spotted multiple times at Epstein's place, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
But like Ehud Barak, the former Israeli prime minister, is definitely involved with this. And, you know, you had the Epstein information tied to his campaign trail. And it's like, you know, now this Epstein stuff's getting involved in elections over there. And it's like, what the hell is going on? Right. And so that's why I'm like, what did they use this information for? And that is the end game, because this information is used for blackmail for political purposes. Right. That's what we want to know. It's like, whoever's on the list. Yeah, that sucks. Arrest their ass, throw them in Gitmo, or fucking, you know, hang them if they did stuff to kids.
Yeah.
But it's like, we have to stop the reason why this happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, you're finding the cure for cancer. That's great. But let's stop the cancer. You know? That's my thing.
You're not wrong. I mean, there's always a reason why it's happening in the first place. Like we've all said, like, Epstein was not the fucking guy. He was not
like it doesn't always have to be somebody big. Like he was a guy who manipulated systems. He lied about what his things were to get money.
I mean, you're right. He could have been the head guy of the U.S. version of what he was doing.
I think
there could be multiple different head people, factions of doing that kind of thing all over the world.
Mm-hmm. There are people doing it all over the world.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean that they all answer to someone else.
It does not mean that they all answer to someone else.
Oh, like Farak over there in the Middle East does the same thing, but he knows Jeffrey Epstein does that business in the U.S. and they contact each other to do that. And it's not like they all work for a head person.
Well, listen, if you're into the same shit, why would you not contact the people that are into the same shit? So it's not shocking to me if Epstein contacted P. Diddy, for example, right? Or if they got together, like they have things in common.
Hey, let me tell you some tricks I do.
You know what I'm saying?
So what sparks my curiosity though is like, why is the list still not out there, and why do we not know about the origins of this? Like we still don't know what the reason for Epstein's island was. Like we just assume it's for like getting your rocks off for fucking perverts.
Well, no,
you know what I mean?
We know what it's for. It's for blackmail.
We're assuming that.
It's all assumption.
I mean, yeah.
What you guys just said.
We're assuming, but I mean, I'm willing to guess. I'd bet $100 on it. The majority of it is for blackmail purposes. You blackmail, you have control over them, and now you can change countries. You can change all that shit.
I mean, but are you really like that surprised that we haven't seen it? Like, it's not that shocking, man. Like, that's what. Listen, everything we've talked about, like when we argue and go back and forth about how long things take, or this, we're gonna have like no Federal Reserve, no taxes, right? Like this kind of stuff and that kind of stuff. The whole thing's slow as fuck. Like nobody like really wants it to happen. You know what I mean? Like it might go that direction, but there's gonna be roadblocks the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, you could look at Nexium as a prime example of like a sex cult where you did have lists released. You had the whole operation like devolve in front of your eyes. Like they described the exact thing in court. Mm-hmm. Now that's one thing is Rainier, the cult leader, went to court and he was tried, where Epstein didn't get that chance.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But like Alex Mack. The Secret Life of Alex Mack, everybody.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that. What is the
You never heard of that show?
No.
Yeah,
what is that?
It's an old doozy.
He turned into a puddle and could float under doorways and stuff. It was cool.
What?
Yeah, it was a little weird, dude. You don't remember the video where it showed like the weird, crappy graphics of him, like?
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
but like that particular case. I mean, you're talking about JV league shit. It's terrible, but I'm saying like compared to Epstein, that's like, who gives a shit? This Epstein thing could potentially, depending on what they release, be real bad for like a lot of political figures.
That's my point. Is like that's why we haven't seen the release, because there's countries or there's high level people involved. There must be a reason why they're not releasing this list. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you said like I'm curious why. Like I'm not curious why. Like that is the reason why. The reason why is that there's the names that do not want to get out.
Right, but then your assumption that it stops at Epstein, like has to be, there has to be more than that.
No, there does not. If I had a club and if I was a really terrible person, right, and I had this speakeasy fucking backdoor fucking thing, right, that everybody knew about, right, that I was running this dirty ass thing in the basement, and all these celebrities, because we know celebrities and politicians, they get strippers, they have orgies, they do all kinds of crappy shit. But if my place was the place, and they just knew that it was a place that they could go safely, quote unquote safely, and do their business that they want to do, it doesn't mean that I'm like, I have something going on. It's just that's the place that everybody knew to go. It's the club to go to when you want to have underage people. You know what I'm saying? He had an island, bro. Now we could say like maybe that island was given to him by somebody else, and we've obviously talked about that stuff in the past, where he got the island. But it's like the perfect place if you're wanting to try to be like, in the dark about it and no one really knows what's going on. And he probably never thought he was going to get caught, So like, but why does that have to be anything bigger than him? If he had the setup to do it and people knew that he had the setup and that was a place they could go seemingly.
I think it's bigger than just him, because the lists would be out. Like you'd have the names of the clientele who went there already.
I know, but
and the fact that we don't have that implies that there's some big names on there, and it's like this bigger operation than what we think. It's not just like a pervert island.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. We're mixing up each other's. I understand now what you're saying. There's bigger names on the list than Epstein himself. Yes. That's true.
Oh, for sure.
But what I'm saying is,
when you have a fucking prince on there, you're fucking.
Let me put it this way: the house party, the guy that has the house party is not always the most popular person at the party. You get what I'm saying? Like, if he had the place to do it and he had the funds to do it, doesn't mean that he's the biggest figure
People
there.
are gonna show up.
People will show up because they know, and it's the word of mouth. And Hollywood's gross, and politicians are gross a lot of times, right? So it was. I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, Bill Clinton is obviously bigger than Epstein. Like, obviously, Prince Andrew, and I'm sure there's some names that we haven't heard that are going to be much bigger than Epstein.
Bill Gates.
But my point is like, the operation.
The guy in the wheelchair.
Oh yeah, Stephen Hawking.
Stephen Hawking.
I bet he's Stephen Hawking on some puss.
But my thing is
doing Stephen Hawk Tua. Stephen Hawk Tua, dude. Write it on the board.
He just goes munch, 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 munch.
Spit on that thing.
Move like that again.
Yeah. I just don't. I bet you. Look, I'm trying to go on the other side. I'm sure that there probably are bigger figures that are paying for the things that you see here, bigger than Epstein. I'm just throwing it out there that it doesn't have to mean that it is, right? He could just be the guy. Like, even P. Diddy. P. Diddy's not going to be the most famous person necessarily at the parties that he was throwing. Like, when you have modern celebrities coming through, I mean, Diddy's obviously big, but, like, there's more relevant people for sure that would go to his parties now. Like, Justin Bieber is much bigger than, Puff Daddy himself, in my opinion. Like, he's a bigger figure that most people know about, right? But that doesn't mean that there's somebody above him.
So you're saying, like, the bigger people paid to keep the list quiet or something? This is
no. I think. Listen, Hollywood's.
No, I bet there's people implicated on the list on the list that have the power to keep it from getting out in the first place. They wouldn't want to implicate. They wouldn't want their name being outed, but also they're probably in the pocket of people that are bigger than them. If they protect the people bigger than them, then they're protected.
No, I get what you're saying, though. I get what you're saying. I
but
think.
So why do you think it would come out now, though? Do you think that they lost their power and their money, or?
I think they lost the power to control it.
I think there's a high chance of that. I think, like, when you see all the, I don't know, man. I think that this particular group of people around Trump is very different than what we had before, and I just think there's more people that are willing to push it forward. And, like, as far as why would it not be released? Well, everybody knows everybody, that kind of a vibe, right? And so if you are part of this shady government shit and you're in, and all of a sudden you get the opportunity to see the real list and you're like, holy fuck, man, like, I know that person and this group knows this person and we all spend time with this person. Like, you don't want that shit getting out because it may or may not come back to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, they all know each other, man. Like, listen, this list is just the beginning list. Once you see this, who do those people hang out with?
Well, yeah, and I think that's why I said there's going to be some info tomorrow. This is going to be, it's not going to be a release and then that's it. I feel like it's going to be a continuous thing where there's just going to be more and more shit coming after whatever is tomorrow.
I mean, after this, if they release the names and the flight logs and they start releasing some other information, like, the only other thing after this to me is just like, what blackmail shit do you have? That's all I give a shit about anymore.
No. Just because you went to the island doesn't mean you're a criminal.
No, I know.
Doesn't mean you're one of the sick fucks that partook in the after shit.
I want to see the videos though.
I don't know if I want to see the videos.
I want to.
I mean, I want to know. I want to know.
I don't want to see kids.
I want to know that the video evidence exists. I don't necessarily want to see it.
Dude, you can like listen. Watch a documentary. You can see a situation happen all the way up to the point of murder. And understand, like, what's going to happen.
Yeah,
that's true. And be like, that guy's fucked up. And, like, I'm not saying I want to see any of that shit. I'm just saying I want to, if Bill Clinton's in there.
You want to see the video, the proof of the video.
Yeah, I think people deserve to see how gross these people are. If those videos exist, or the calls, or the blackmail, the recorded calls and them talking about shit that they should not be talking about, that stuff needs to be released. Because you can say that so-and-so is bad. I can say Bill Clinton's disgusting and he loves kids, and you're like, well, maybe, dude, possibly. But if you actually have a video of him saying, like, got that kid over here ready for me, like, that shit changes.
Dude, remember, supposedly there were those screenshots of like the cameras from Epstein Island, right? And I don't know if it was like a Q type of thing or it was in one of those posts.
Well, with the one that people are saying looked like Hillary Clinton standing there.
Yeah.
No, it looked like Nancy Pelosi.
Oh, Nancy Pelosi, that's what it was.
Right. It had her same freaking like the wide freaking weird stance that she does when she's on.
That's what I'm
like
saying,
too much
though.
wine.
Like, is that believable? Like, is like in hindsight? Like
she looked like a
hindsight now.
Sasquatch you see in the wilderness.
Yeah, dude. She's
like
nasty.
she was a little bit blurry even.
I just like here's the thing that I kind of vaguely remember the photos that we were looking at, and my argument would be there's no way that if you're blackmailing the biggest figures that the world's seen, right? Leaders, political leaders, Hollywood, you're not having some fucking 1080p fucking bullshit. You're gonna have zoomed in cameras, nice fucking quality. You want the best picture. I want to see the wrinkles on your face because I want you to know that, hey, if you say something, look at this clear ass picture of you. You're not gonna see some fucking Dollar General fucking camera system that's like, oh, that kind of looks like Nancy Pelosi.
But you know what? That's kind of the way it always fucking is with security cameras, right?
No.
Like they're always shitty as fuck for some reason.
Nah, go look at Target compared to fucking other places. You know what I'm saying? Like they can track you. They can zoom into your fucking there's nice systems out there. And a billionaire or multi-millionaire.
But I mean, yeah, I don't know because you go through and you look at like the photos that were released or whatever of his house and like of wherever they were. Everything was very fucking outdated. Everything was. Like the furniture was.
It was.
The fucking everything was.
Yeah. That's because you
so
always.
So I don't know if like he actually.
Yeah.
If he just lived a huge fucking lavish lifestyle and didn't give a fuck about updating the shit.
Dude, when you're coming on couches constantly, you can't just constantly replace them. You know
That's
what I'm
true.
saying?
It gets expensive.
They don't make them like they used to, man. Those old 80s leather couches.
They held up.
Stayed
They held up
clean,
to some abuse, if you know.
Yeah, man. And plus, look at him. Like sometimes
bad
those
choice of
older
words out
guys,
there.
they like those 80s vibes, the 90s. The 90s were the era of cocaine, dude, and drugs and fucking.
That's true.
It was probably like, it made Bill Clinton a little bit more comfortable. He's like, I like your floral choice.
Yes.
This was a good
This
design.
This rug reminds me of Monica.
Oh, God. That's a blue rug. I mean, doesn't Gates still wear like the fucking sweater vests and shit? Like
turtlenecks
Yeah, I
and
mean, the
shit,
fucking guy's living back in 95. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's fine. It's cool.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm excited about it, but we'll see what really comes of it. Who's the biggest name that you think released? If you just had to throw a name out there, who do you think is going to be the biggest name on the list? Let's not talk about Bill, but like, who do you think could be on that list that you would be like, oh, damn, they said that?
I think it's going to be people who have been outspokenly against Trump. You're going to see a lot of like either Democrat
leaders
or like or Republicans that don't like Trump. You're going to see a lot of people that go against Trump, and they're going to use. That's why I think this is like a political move, dude. I think they know there's a lot of anti-Trump people who are implicated in this.
Yeah.
And when they get that shit out, like it makes sense. You know what I mean? Like it makes sense. Like that's why they want Trump not to win, because they don't want this shit getting out, right?
I think that one will hit. I think that will hit if there's like political names that are like high Democrat leaders or even Republican people that have been like fucking the old fuck that says he's not going to run again, that he just pauses now like a Joe Biden.
Oh yeah.
What's his McConnell?
Oh, Mitch McConnell,
or like people like that of that caliber.
Mitt Romney. I don't know.
But I think what's going to hit the public the most, honestly, is the names of celebrities.
Oh yeah.
I mean, celebrities always.
Yeah,
will.
I
that'll
think
hit people. Who,
I think
like,
there's
don't
going to be
really follow
probably names of celebrities that people wouldn't have guessed. Maybe the general public, and that's everyone. They're going to be like, "Whoa, fuck!"
Yeah.
That guy's a sick fuck. Damn.
The reason I don't like the whole like politically like motivated kind of thing is that like the Democrats were doing it. You know what I mean? Like you did it. Like you can't just. I'm not saying you, but you can't just be like, well, you can't do that because it's just Democrats. You're just like, yeah, your party fucking. I'm not saying. I bet you there's Republicans too. There's definitely going to be Republicans, but that dirty deep state kind of stuff, I think, is like, I don't give a fuck who you're. Like, it has to be exposed, man.
Right, and then I think you're going to find. Well, I think you're going to find ties to our own CIA intelligence operations, right? And so that is probably why, you had like James Comey, FBI, the head of the FBI, kind of really going after him and be like, dude, we got to not have this guy in. Right? So you might have either, if you're not on the tapes, and that's why I want to know who paid for the tapes and what were the tapes being used for and what was this stuff being used for. Because, like, those people are implicated too. Like, way more than, maybe not way more, but the people who diddled kids need to go away forever and never breathe again. Yeah. But the people who recorded that and did something with that to influence maybe something in the world also need to go down.
Agree.
Right?
Agree.
And that's why I'm like,
who
knew about this shit and who did it?
I want clarification because I for me, like it's all bad, right? Like let's say Comey, for example. Let's say hypothetically he has nothing to really do with the actual Epstein stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But like let's say that because we know the government does this shit, right? We know that they hide stuff from the public because they don't want mass panic or
disruption.
Yeah, or any of that kind of stuff. So what if he sees this and he's like, oh my goodness. It's hypothetical, right? He's like, dude, if we release this, the whole government's going to collapse. The whole thing's going to collapse. We can't release this. Like, I know they're bad people, but we can't release this because everything will fall apart. He still should be punished for that, though. Like, I know he didn't maybe diddle a kid, but I'm saying he also, like, the vast majority of people that are evil that are walking around aren't serving any time for it. Like, they're just fucking eating lobster, dude, and acting like, another day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Another day.
I mean, Amy Robach said she had the story about Epstein 3 years before it actually blew up. But she couldn't release it because her producers said, hey, you have to focus on the royal wedding. Yeah. And remember there was that famous clip of her going around and she was mad because she didn't break the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, kids are still getting like diddled and you're upset because you couldn't break the story?
I mean, there has to be some consequence to the people that were never there but saw evidence of what was going on and never did anything about it. It's an obstruction at minimum. It's obstruction of justice, right? Because you're not allowing this to move forward because of the names that you see.
What's the word they use for that if you were like not directly participating in a crime but you were like there?
That's the
what's it called? It's not like
accomplice?
Accomplice, yeah. Or not.
It is, but it's a little different in this situation, but it is. It's like you are allowing this to not go the full distance because you're holding stuff back.
Yeah.
And who are you?
Not that they're even holding back, but you knew information that you didn't provide.
That's holding back.
Yeah, kind of.
You're not releasing it. Like you do not have the right to withhold information. It's the same thing with the aliens and everything else. You don't have the right to withhold information that you know. What makes you so important that you can know but we can't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, if you know, we should all know. That's how I feel about it.
Well, and it's not like if you know, we should all know. It's all the people that are involved, we should fucking know.
Yeah.
Like, especially if they're running our country.
I would just be curious how many people were elected afterwards. If there was people that were elected into whatever position, you know what I mean, that had been there, they would obviously have never been elected. And what things, if they were elected, what things did they pass and move forward that they would have never passed and moved forward had they never been in office, right?
Well, how many things did they pass and move forward that benefited their lifestyle?
Well, I think most of them.
And that's the only reason why it got passed or put through.
Yeah. So I saved a post by MJ Truth Ultra. This is from December 3rd, 2024. And he's talking about billionaire Reid Hoffman. And apparently, Reid Hoffman went to Epstein Island. But Reid Hoffman also paid for Trump's accuser in this like rape lawsuit. So he was like paying for that lawsuit, I guess. I don't know how, but he was a LinkedIn founder, Reid Hoffman. He's given millions of dollars to the Democrats, visited the White House multiple times. Apparently, he visited Epstein's Island. And he left the United States after Trump won. And you can click on like some of these things. And then Elon Musk apparently is talking about Reid Hoffman. being on the client list, and then
So, I think that happened yesterday or something. It was pretty funny to watch. But she'll just say whatever words are on the teleprompter. So, it's really whoever controls the teleprompter is the actual sort of that's who's actually in charge.
And who is that? Do you think?
Well, I've tried to pin it down. It's not like any one kind of mastermind. It's not like it seems to be. It's like Kamala's sort of a marionette with, 1,000 puppet masters type of thing. Like not it's or maybe it's somewhere north of 100 is what it seems like.
Yes. I bet you know 80 of them.
I probably know most of them. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, just by virtue of your job and what you've been doing for the last 30 years, I mean, you just,
yeah.
And I should say, I think you voted for Biden.
I'd like to see a matchup of those, we call it the top 100 puppet masters on the Epstein client list.
Do you think there's some overlap?
Strong overlap. Strong overlap.
When are we going to see that list, do you think?
I don't know. It's mind blowing that they've not tried to prosecute even one. Not even the worst offender on the Epstein client list. They've not even tried to prosecute even one. That's insane.
Well, because they have a lot of diabetic grandmothers who were outside the Capitol on January 6th. They're kind of occupied.
Yeah, they've put like whatever 500 or 600 January 6 protesters in prison, and not one person on the Epstein client list.
Will that ever come out, do you think?
I think part of why Kamala's getting so much support is that if Trump wins, that Epstein client list is going to become public.
Yes.
And some of those billionaires behind Kamala are terrified of that outcome.
Yeah. Do you think Reid Hoffman's uncomfortable?
Yes.
Dude,
he answered that quickly.
What a weird feeling, man.
I only asked that because
thinking about that.
You just look at them and you're like, that's a nervous person right there. I don't know. I mean, I assume you know them. Yeah.
Yes. Reid Hoffman was my vice president of business development at PayPal.
Yeah.
24 years ago.
Does he seem nervous to you?
Yeah, I mean, he's terrified of a Trump victory.
Because of the disclosure that would follow?
I think he's certainly ideologically not aligned with Trump anyway, but I think he is concerned about the Epstein situation.
Damn, dude.
Right? That was a long, I wish we could have just had the last 50 seconds.
Yeah, I know.
That's okay, though. You get the whole context, though, to be fair. And, you heard the whole thing said. And that's a weird when you really think about it, especially being a person like Elon, right? And we've talked about this with Trump, right? Like you are such a huge figure. Diddy is another example. You're such a predominant figure that if you get into the music industry, think about this maybe 20 years ago, right? We played in bands and stuff, and if we were ever playing in bands and we got invited to the big party and Puff Daddy's there, and you'd be like, "What the fuck, Puff Daddy, dude? Holy shit!" They don't realize how a lot of these people come in don't realize how big these people are and how gross that they are. And Elon obviously has been bumping shoulders for a long time. The guy's filthy rich, dude. Trump's been bumping shoulders for a long time, But can you imagine just how sickening that would be to know that everybody that you've been talking to over the years, the people you've worked with, are all that gross? You know what I mean? That's
Do you
tough.
think they didn't know that?
I think they
I think they knew that, dude. You know what I mean?
I think to some extent, Greg. Yeah, to some extent.
You can't hang out with those guys and then not see that activity and you go, "Whoa, this guy's fucking rubbing his nipples, hanging on the wall."
Yeah. Well,
right?
listen,
you see that shit.
My thing, I guess, just it's hard to imagine, because I think they're so much bigger than we realize, how gross these parties were when you hear about people talking about it. But when we were at house parties and shit back in the day, or just out or at a club or at a bar or whatever we were doing, you could spot the guy that's that dude's kind of fucking weird. You know what I mean? That dude's got some pretty nasty fucking things that he's into. But you don't necessarily know that it's kind of like a murderer, right? These people are friends with murderers. They didn't realize that they were killing people. They just said they were off. This neighbor he's really off. He's a weird dude. You don't expect that he's killing children or something, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how much other than just these people have really sick kind of quirks and kinks. And I think that's a lot of it, is that they were kinky and gross and had orgies and would fuck each other's wives and shit. And when you see that, you're like, oh yeah, they're weird. But like, you were taking advantage of children. Like that's another level a little bit, right? Like, I don't know. You always,
bit. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know that you always assume that. And so maybe there is, I don't know. Can you imagine? I mean, can you imagine that you're just around people and you're like, even if they're kind of weird, and all of a sudden you find out that they all were doing this? Like, that's a hard pill to swallow.
Well,
man.
so like I think about Trump, and honestly, I think about him being involved in like New York real estate, and that's got to take some like tough skin, dude.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
Like you got to know who to talk to, and you're gonna like people are gonna try to take advantage of you. They're gonna try to like steal your money, steal your opportunities, steal your deals, and all that stuff, right? So you kind of have to play hard too, you know?
Yes.
And so I think that if you watch like Where Is My Roy Cohn, the documentary, you find out that Roy Cohn is kind of like this mentor to Donald Trump. And Roy Cohn is like this vicious, rabid freaking lawyer. He was gay, right? And like he had this intimate relationship with this soldier. And like there was like this, like he wanted to keep it on the quiet because like being gay back then was like a no-no. It was like the Mad Men days, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like you watch that movie and you go, okay, this guy helped Trump kind of become who Trump was. And then I think like along the lines, Trump buys this hotel that's notorious for capturing blackmail on people. Like there's like cameras in the hotel rooms. And I think that's why he knows about, like Trump knows about cameras being hidden places. And so it's like, he's been around the block. He knows something about collecting blackmail on people.
Yeah.
And who knows? Maybe I think Trump might have blackmail on people too.
It's possible.
And maybe that's why he was never touched. That explains why he's never been killed. That explains why he's maintained the success, right? Like when you see the clips of the mob trying to get after him, hey, we could never touch him. Why couldn't they touch him? Maybe he had blackmail on people. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think he knows the game.
Yeah.
And, you know, to change the game, you kind of have to step in and be like, dude, I know the game. And he doesn't drink and he doesn't do drugs. So that's another thing, too. He's always in clarity. So
Yeah. I agree with you. I definitely agree with you. I don't know, man. It's weird to think how many people are probably scared to death right now. And rightfully. You should be. You know what I mean? Because it's been years, dude. We've been talking about this for years. And it's been going on way before that even. But I'm saying when it really broke and all this stuff happened, it's like then, years back, we were saying like, man, anytime. Like we could see this, and you know, it just never came out. And like these people kind of, I bet you got comfortable. Especially when Trump lost. And they were probably like, fuck, thank God. Holy crap, dude. You know, not realizing that the man was going to run again and win. You know what I'm saying? At that point. So, listen, I believe in like karma and shit, and like I don't think you can escape these kind of things. I think if you're a bad person and you do bad shit, it comes to you at some point. Even if you don't get arrested, I think it's a really crappy life that you have. You know what I mean? Because like you're thinking about it, whether you regret it or you were fine with it, it's still gross, and you know it's gross. Deep down, you know it's gross, and that you can't feel good about yourself at all. So I just hope they have something happen to him, man. I think they deserve to be locked up, and like you said, it hung. If that's the case, doesn't bother me one bit.
It reminds me of that one Q post that was like suicide weekend. You know what I mean? And it was referring to Epstein stuff dropping, and I'm like, it always that's one that kind of sticks in the back of my mind, and I'm like, okay, we'll see if that ever happens.
Well, it could be soon. You know, like listen, if they drop a list tomorrow, like she says, or possibly tomorrow, let's keep it real.
Yeah. She said she did change it to hopefully tomorrow.
Well, either way, though,
she was like,
I don't know if she was talking about what, depending, like if she was saying stuff was going to be released, and then she was saying hopefully this and this will be released also, but I don't know.
Listen, he had his first cabinet meeting of his second term. Okay, just was it today or was it yesterday? I can't remember now. Where he had everybody in the room. They were taking interviews and shit, and they were, asking or answering questions. I think the timing of that to this is interesting. I think that like this has to be a discussion between all of them, even the ones that aren't directly involved or not going to be directly involved. Your Kennedy and all this other stuff. Like, this is going to like ruffle people. This is going to ruffle feathers, man, in all aspects. Sure. And like, there has to be some game plan to this, because as soon as this comes out, the Warhammers are coming out, because they have to defend whatever they end up saying. They have to defend it.
Well, that was the excuse. There was this thought that that's why they would pull the plug on the internet when this stuff came out, because it would like stop the spread. But it's like, you're just delaying it.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, that's not stopping it. And the way that, I mean, I'm with you. It's going to come out. There's nothing you can do about it. Like, you can prolong it a little bit longer, but there's nothing you can do about it.
It's funny. I saw this post on X that was saying you should drop all this stuff before the Oscars come out. And the Oscars is Sunday, March 2nd. So this upcoming Sunday.
How sick would that be? If you could, like, Pam Bondi,
Richie Gervais up there.
No. Like let's say that there was some good people in Hollywood and they knew that this was part of the, because how government works with Hollywood, right? Let's say there was actually some decent people in Hollywood, some real patriotic people are like, we need to clean this fucking house, right? And they just said, you know what, Pam, we'll give you a spot. We're not going to tell anybody you're coming out. And she just comes out. The award goes to blah, 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 and they win the trophy. And then next announcer, Pam Bondi. She comes out. She's like, hey, Hollywood, how's it, and just releases the names in front of the fucking people. Like, oh, my God. That would be the number one view.
But
it would never happen. But you want to talk about the most views ever seen on anything would be that particular situation. Did you watch that? Have you watched that series? I didn't even watch it, but my wife did. Zero. What was that? It has that fucking
Zero Day.
Did you watch that?
I haven't watched it.
No.
It's interesting. I was catching it as she was watching it, and it's about I think it's about like a blackout situation.
Yeah, cyber attack.
Zero
Day is a cyber attack.
Yeah. But I'm not gonna if you haven't seen it, it's new, so I'm not gonna spill the beans. I did watch the last episode. I thought it was ironic. The gentleman, what's his face, that does what's that guy's name?
De Niro.
He hates Trump, right? But I felt like watching the pieces that I watched, I was like, he's kind of playing a Trump. He's playing a figure that's like trying to expose what's really happening, which I think is weird because he hates Trump so much, but he's also playing this figure that is exposing what's going on, and it's pretty devastating, really. But there's a point where he says it. You know what I'm saying? He says the things that he's going to say, and he says it in front of everybody. Mm-hmm. In a situation where it's like, what is that called? Like when they come out and do their address. What's that? I'm brain farting right now. Where they address the nation.
Like a presidential address or something?
Well, the big thing that they do once or twice, where Nancy Pelosi ripped the fucking papers up.
Oh,
yeah.
State of the Union.
State of the Union.
Yeah.
I would love to see this. When I saw that, I was like, I want that to happen. I want this to happen. I want this to be like when nobody's expecting it, and all those names come out and everybody's watching it because they don't expect it to happen. You know what I mean? Like it's some Joker thing where it's like you're watching a late night show and then all of a sudden he's like holding a gun to this dude's head and everybody's like, what the fuck? Like this is not like, I don't want people dying or anything. I'm just saying I want this to happen and have people see it that wouldn't normally see this, and see these names come out when they wouldn't normally expect to see it. A lot of people aren't going to search it out.
That's true. It would be cool to just have like you said, a State of the Union, and it's just them reading the names.
Yeah.
And especially like if like Trump was standing there and was making somebody else read the names, and then they ended up reading their own name, that would be great.
Dude, do you guys remember? Do you remember I fell into this, dude, and I was like, oh, this could happen. The Dave Wilcock 3 Days of Darkness, where they were saying, yeah, it's going to be a Friday,
no, 10
Saturday,
days
Sunday.
of darkness.
10 days, right?
Oh, 10 days.
Yeah. 10 days of darkness.
Where you're going to have this 8-hour loop, and it's going to expose everything that they've done. You're going to have videos, you're going to have trials, you're going to have evidence and all. And I'm like, damn, dude, I can't believe I fell for that shit.
Well, listen, I think the movie script that is, because that's what it is to me. It's like this fictional kind of like movie idea. I think the
it's like
idea,
Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. It's like a fascinating thing, but I don't think effective. I think if that actually, more people would be panicking because they don't know what's going on, and that would be scary more than it is informative. You know what I'm saying? For some. So I don't know that that's it, but I think we've overshot something a long time ago, and I think that's just like when these names get released, that they will be so significant on their own. They don't need the makeup, the lights, and all the other things. That they'll just be that. They're going to be significant, and it's going to be hard. Just like Masterson from that '70s show, that whole situation. Now, granted, a very lower level kind of situation, but people know him. You know what I'm saying? That show is very popular. They know who he is, and they did not try to save him when he came out. Like some did. But I'm saying the public did not try to save him.
Scientology tried.
Yeah, but the public, even if they loved him on the show, they did not try to save his ass.
They turned on him immediately.
Weinstein, or what's the guy's name? Fucking old fish dick. Yeah, Weinstein, whatever, dude. They didn't try to save him. I think there gets to a point where you can't. You are bad for trying to save him, and you won't do it. Even if you like, I like that guy, you're not going to be able to do it. You know. I said the other day though, we were watching. I was showing Chris, man. What's his name? The fucking kill him gently or whatever. Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey.
He came out and there was the new videos, right, of him talking about Pierce.
Guy Pierce, that guy coming out against him.
Guy Pierce was saying that he felt
fucking
like a victim.
He did something to me in the 90s.
Yeah, like on some
or
old
whatever,
show.
Whatever it was, yeah.
I guess in hindsight, I probably was a victim. And then Kevin Spacey came out and was just like, you were no victim. Did you want me to tell you about when you flew to hang out with me and spend time with me? You want to talk about that? Like, there was a piece of me after I was just like, I don't know. I kind of like that Kevin Spacey. I kind of like that. You know what I mean? Like, he's calling him out. And in hindsight, with that guy, like, is there a chance that all that stuff was fucking not real? I mean, is there any chance at all that like he was
with Kevin Spacey?
Yeah, that he was just like completely set up. And
why were his accusers dying left and right?
Well, I mean, listen, I'm with you on that because that's a hard one to
That
go.
is,
but
unless they fake that too, just to make it look even more real.
Well, what if they didn't fake it? Like, let's say for some, I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, like if the opposition framing him killed them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
To make him look even more guilty.
Yeah, because we've seen that in movies where like they kill the people and put their body. I mean, we even saw that with the Penguin and shit, right? Where it's like they set the fucking death up to make it look like it's part of this.
Yeah.
Listen, he's a bad guy. I'm pretty sure he's a bad guy. But there is a little tiny. I'm just like, damn, really, man? I really want to believe that.
He's such a good actor, though.
He's so good, man. and like, okay, so his world's falling apart, probably deservingly, right? Yeah. Probably deservingly. But
he has no money.
Then like this Guy Pearce thing, there's just something about that kind of rubbed me wrong. I'm like, that's the shit that I don't like. I'm like, dude, this was 20-something years ago, and you're a dude. You're like, Guy Pearce is a guy, okay? He's a dude. If you felt uncomfortable, you'd beat his ass and talk about it then. Like, or talk about years ago when he was obviously had all these accusations. Why bring it up now? It's a weird, I don't get it, man. Like, why are you just now? Is it like you're kind of losing some of your popularity and you want to be back in the fucking news again or something? But like, it's weird. That's why sometimes
that's a bad story to be in the news though, like molesting.
Well, he never said
getting
that,
molested.
He never even said that. And I don't know if Guy Pearce is gay. He may be. I don't even actually know.
No idea.
But seemingly from what he said, that Guy Pearce flew on out to spend some quality time with him. I'm guessing suck some dick. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm thinking. He was getting that Spacey dick. You know what I mean?
Dude, I'm just disappointed that Spacey stopped doing those Christmas videos.
I know.
You know?
I know.
Being the House of Card character.
But
that was a really good character.
It was.
Yeah.
Listen, most of his
Frank
characters
Underwood?
were pretty good, dude.
Yeah.
He was a good actor, man. He was a really good actor. If that never
But
happened,
how creepy were those Christmas videos? He's talking about shanking people and he's like, stabbing the fire. Yeah. Keep your enemies closer. Shut your fucking mouth.
Well, that's the thing though. Is it him being a creepy fuck, or is it him like mocking the accusations?
Well,
or it's him like sending a message and just being a creepy fuck, dude. Because like it comes off as, wow, you're sending this message, and then the next day your accuser dies. Like, I mean, the next day, dude. True.
I know. I certainly
it
do
is
not.
Hard.
I'm not going to justify because listen, I get it. But I will say this: people like Michael Jackson, people like Marilyn Manson, right? Like Manson specifically has done some not great things. But I'm just saying they're very easy targets, right? Like Michael Jackson's a pretty easy target. Personality-wise, the way he is, the way he grew up, the way that he lived his life, pretty easy to go after him. And then people go, well, he's a little weird. He does hang out with a lot of children. It's pretty easy. And like the only thing I say is Kevin Spacey does have a personality that whether this happened or didn't happen, he's still a weird dude. He's a very weird guy and almost like condescending and kind of like an asshole, arrogant. He has that wealthy like arrogance to him. And like maybe he's just a kind of an easy target too. You know what I'm saying? Like because he makes these videos and he just comes across creepy. He's a creepy dude.
He's photoed, right, with Ghislaine Maxwell sitting on the throne of the queen.
Dude,
right?
I know. I don't want to bring it up because you're right. You're so fucking right. Like, the dude's...
He has, like, all these deep connections, dude.
That dude has definitely molested people. I'm just saying he definitely has. I'm not trying to say that he didn't. I'm just saying I don't like the Guy Pearce shit. I don't like that. I don't like that you are coming out now and you could have then, and you could have probably beat his ass then. You know what I'm saying? If he tried to touch your dick and you didn't want him to, well, I mean, like, you couldn't beat up Kevin Spacey, and he's like, well, he was such an intimidating man. Like, get the fuck out of here, dude, you pussy. Like, what are you doing? Like if somebody's trying to touch your dick, you become a superpower. You know what I mean?
If Kevin Spacey wasn't Kevin Spacey, and you seen that guy on the street as you're walking, he's not an intimidating man.
Well, I mean, maybe he's more vicious than we know, but that's not the point.
But that's even vicious or not, like just walking, just in the presence of him, he's not intimidating.
But see, my thing is none of us are like fighters. None of us are like these badass hardcore.
I know we're not.
We're not. But I'm saying,
but he's still not intimidating.
I know, but that my point is
like if Kevin Spacey tried to tuck my dick, I'm fucking beating his ass.
Tuck your dick.
That's what I'm saying.
That too.
That's what I'm. Listen, I'm saying the weakest person.
He would try to tuck my dick.
I would think.
You little dick tucker.
I'm saying that the weakest person.
Dick Tucker's going on the board,
that
dude.
Does not want to. Dick Tucker.
Yeah.
Okay, write that down. God damn it.
Tuck my dick. God damn it.
I'll write it on my hand. My point is that the weakest person, if somebody's trying to touch your dick and you're a man, even if you are not a fighter, even if you're weak, you're not going to want somebody touching your dick. And even if you lost, you'd still try to beat his ass. You know what I mean? Like, to me, unless you wanted
unless you want them to touch your dick.
Unless you want him to. This pen doesn't work. I was going to write on my... Oh, there it is. Dick Tucker. Right?
Yeah, right?
Okay, all right.
Yeah, or tuck my dick, whatever. Either or.
I like the weirdness of Dick Tucker because it's not really like...
Could be a name.
What is that? You know
Dick
what I'm saying?
Tucker.
Right. Dick Tucker. It could be a name. So anyways, there was that.
Unfortunate name, but...
I know we're rolling here. So I was going to ask you what you thought about the gold thing that we're going to be doing here. The gold card.
Gold card.
What do you think of that?
Have you heard about this, Greg?
The gold card. Trump's gold card.
So there's going to be... basically, like you get like a visa and like
it's a green card, but it's
a
gold.
green card, but it's for business. Like you get a gold card to do business in America.
No,
no, I thought that's what it was.
Nope. So it's going to cost $5 million. So if you're a wealthy individual that does not live in this country, you can pay $5 million to have a gold card, which fast tracks you to get to get citizenship, and it allows you to be in the United States and do business. And he's like, we want to promote more wealthy individuals coming to this country. I don't hate it. Like there's, I don't hate it.
What if you're like, what if dude? What if you're a
mean,
terrorist? What if you're a rich terrorist?
Well, listen, no, it's not.
I don't.
There's a process. There's still a process, man. It's not like, oh, you just got $5 million. Like here's your card. I mean, there's still.
I don't hate the idea of like finding a new way to collect income to the country, but I'm also like, I don't care how much money you have, you can stand in line like everybody else.
Listen, I think the idea is you want more people that come in that are willing to are smart people.
True,
I guess,
but also stand in line.
Yeah, I mean, I'm cool with it, man. You want to spend $5 million? Don't bother me at all, dude. $5 million is a lot of money. Not everybody's gonna be able to do that.
I mean, in the big scheme of things, $5 million is not a lot of money
for normal people.
It's losing its wow.
Okay,
factor.
I'm sorry. 99% of the world would not be able to afford that.
True.
Well, then you have to wonder, like, what are you coming in the country to do? And that's what I would be curious to do. Like, curious to know, right? Like, if you're going to spend $5 million just to get in, what is your plan?
Well, I know, but
are you going to manufacture something? Are you going to create jobs? Are you like
you want to
chill?
That's his goal. That's what he's talking about. He said that the idea is to bring in entrepreneurs, people that want to be in this country to pay taxes. These obviously are people that could be paying a lot into taxes that would help the economy, that would create jobs. I don't think it's going to be widely used. I got to be honest with you. I don't think it's like something that we're going to see hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people doing it. But I do think that some people may be interested because they don't have to go through the whole process. Possibly.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
And last thing, real quick. Did you hear about the Swalwell shit?
Swalwell. No.
That's interesting. That's fun. That's an interesting.
With what was his name? Wang Wang.
That was talked about it. Yeah.
Fang. All right.
Fang. Real quick. And we can dive into this more because I think more will come out on this. There's a 90-minute video that just came out. This apparently, well, not apparently, the video is there, and they actually, the dude filming actually talks to him. He goes to, it's at 10 o'clock at night at a restaurant. The dude was there with his girlfriend having dinner, and Swalwell shows up, and he's like, this place was empty, and this guy sat right next to me with some lobbyists and other people, and he's like, he was fucking drunk off his ass, and he was like yelling all this shit that you do not want to be saying to the public people, and everybody in the restaurant heard it. He was talking about orgies at parties. He was talking about wanting to fuck Trump's wife because she's so hot, that he's sick of his wife, that he that he's like looking for some new tank.
Fang?
No, that was just a girl. That was just a side chick. He's married, I guess.
Oh.
But he was dropping. I haven't watched the whole 90 minutes, but he was.
This is actually a video of Swalwell.
Look it up real quick.
Swalwell?
We got 2 minutes. Look up X real quick and look up Swalwell. Yes, there's a video of him, and they come up and ask him about Fang, and he's all drunk and shit. I guess. Listen, man, the dude that released it's name, and you can look up. It was Oh, of course, I just took it out of here. What's the guy's name here? Exclusive, Nick Sortor. Eric panics when asked about the Chinese spy girlfriend Fang and whether that's a bigger national security threat than Elon Musk. I sat next to a drunk Swalwell in a dinner to go. Here it is. I sat next to a drunk Swalwell at a dinner for 90 minutes. He was immediately compromised by a group of lobbyists that had just met, spilling intimate details about his job and asking for help cheating on his wife. Massive national security threat. This guy should not have the clearance, or should have his clearance revoked. Swalwell spent his dinner bragging about orgies on Capitol Hill, telling them that he was bored of his wife and only wants to fuck tens. Worse, he spoke about abusing his power on the White House Intel Committee, which he's since been booted off of, saying he pushed to subpoena Ivanka Trump.
Congressman, you referred to Elon
because she's hot as fuck. All this shit was being filmed by the guy. He's like, listen, guys, I want to be clear. I didn't hold my camera up. I was at the table and I just pushed record because he was so fucking loud that everybody could hear it and you could hear it clear as day. So.
Everything on X right now is just him leaving something and they're like confronting him.
He says that after I began questioning him, Swalwell jumped back into the group of lobbyists to hide from me. I pressed on. Dude looked absolutely terrified, 100% guilty. And he was, I guess, drunk, just being drunk, dude. But he was talking about some orgies and some parties and some fucking... Yeah, man. So I think it's going to be... I want to watch the 90 minutes because apparently he's dropping some stuff that he shouldn't have been saying there. And that dude's still in government, right? Am I wrong? Is he still in government?
Yeah, he is.
That's not good.
It's not good.
It seems like he was told to do that. Like, why would he go out in public and just start talking about a bunch of shit that he did and like... you know what I mean? Like, create a story like this.
I don't know.
Because you're drunk.
I don't know.
Yeah,
dude.
but he gets drunk all the time, right? You would assume.
I don't know.
I mean, why would you?
Now?
Why would you fucking bomb? I mean, listen, like, let's hypothetically, like that. Wouldn't that bomb your career? Like, what Democrat?
Do you think Democrats care about their careers right now? Like,
no,
none
probably
of them are getting reelected.
Yeah, you're probably right. But if he's saying things that he shouldn't be saying, that's going to incriminate other people, and possibly. I don't know, man. I mean, like, if you're talking about subpoenas and stuff and kind of like abusing power, he's not the only person that was involved in these things. So that would automatically, you'd have to look at the other people that were around him doing the same thing in the Intel Committee at the time. It just doesn't make sense. It's weird, but there is a video. I mean, it's a video. It's not a doctored video. It is like it's a video.
And so you can't see him, but you can hear him.
No, you'll see the stuff, man. The guy, I guess.
I can't find it. It's just clips of him leaving some like hotel thing.
That's interesting.
And Laura Loomer's involved with it as well, of course. There we go. Check it out though. Here, check this out. Can you see this? I mean, there's obviously which camera? You can obviously see that he has video of him talking with the law.
Right.
It's not just audio. This is there's video of him sitting there. He's like the dude. The whole place is empty. He sat right next to me. He was right behind me. I could hear every breath he took. It was just so loud. So why? You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he's next to go, dude.
He like James O'Keefe'd himself. You know?
Kind of, dude.
Yeah, right. O'Keefe'd himself.
He O'Keefe'd himself. Dang, you never pulled the full O'Keefe.
Do you think he let out a nice juicy fart though? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, probably.
Just one for the old books.
I mean, when you're drunk, you never hold them in.
That's true, dude. You don't.
Yeah.
You're less likely to hold them in, dude.
Yeah.
It's looser. You're just like
you have no fucking self-awareness, and you're just like fucking letting it go.
Which that's the
Don't
point,
get
though.
drunk
That's
with Chris,
true. You just
everybody.
said there's no self-awareness, and if you're not self-aware,
when you're that drunk, when you're buzzed, you still have some like.
I just want to hear him talking about Ivanka Trump, dude. I just want to hear that clip where he's like, "Man, it's so hot as fuck, bro. I just want to fucking subpoena her, you know what I'm saying? So with my subpoenas, you know, or something."
Yeah,
I wonder
subpoenas.
Subpoenas.
There you go, dude. That's deservable on the board too.
That's not a bad one, dude. All right, man. Fuck. Happy Wednesday, folks. Tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, we're not going to be here tomorrow for the show, but if that shit's released, man, we are going to have some stuff to talk about on Friday.
Yeah, get on Patreon, everybody. We're going to be talking all about it.
Absolutely, man. All right, cheers to y'all.
Later, guys.
Peace.